Welcome back to Animate Weapon of Self-Reflection. I've got some build updates, got our 6-link Replica Covenant. Even when I first got it and it was 5-link, I 6-linked it later, it was a huge damage upgrade. The level 29 added cold is like 75 to 80% more damage. It's a huge boost. And so with 7-link and that last line on Replica Covenant, if you see normal Covenant is skills gain a life cost, this is skills gain an energy shield cost equal to 200%, not 100% like regular Covenant. So this is one reason I think Replica Covenant is not going to get that expensive, is because this means you need to either be Eldritch Battery or be a build that leeches energy shield. Yeah, that kind of narrows its uses. So it's never going to be as expensive as its baby brother or older brother, whatever you want to call it. But with Eldritch Battery, it's doable, and unfortunately, it's still kind of tight. If we do Offering, we can cast our 6 in a row, but that used up all our energy shield, and it's coming back. Cool thing, if you don't know about Eldritch Battery, is that energy shield recharge is not regeneration. So if you go into a no regen mode, it still sucks that your life needs flasks, only heals from flasks, especially if you're a guardian or if you're a scion like this with the guardian node. You still get a lot of regen, but all that regen is turned off by that map mod, but it's still playable. Much less painfully than most builds where you need like one of those enduring mod hybrid or mana flasks. That's a pain in the ass. I always hate it. Actually quite playable on this build just because of Eldritch Battery. And one thing that a lot of Eldritch Battery builds get to do is Wicked Ward and Mind Over Matter. But the costs here are a little too hefty. You take damage at the wrong time and maybe you need to re-up on the animate weapons. You can get stuck, unable to recast, and out of animate weapons and have to run away and let it recharge. And that's a pain in the ass. So I did try it out. I also tried a charm with the... you can get charms with 3% of the Mind Over Matter effect. The keystone is 40%, but the charms are 3% each, so you could potentially get up to 6% or 9% if you use 3 of them. I don't have my 3rd charm socket yet, but even doing that, still getting hit. The problem is that it's not... Wicked Ward is only if the recharge began recently, so you can get caught. You can still get stuck in a bad place, and I didn't find it to be worth it, although it seems appealing. It seems like another good defensive layer, but it's going to take a lot of support. Like, I had to get this whole wheel of energy shield and recharge. One thing that is nice is this instinct wheel, which you do want spell suppression. There's just a lot of travel on the way and the budget is tight, so I don't know yet. I may try this out later, even without going Wicked Ward and Mind Over Matter or the charms, but I might still walk over to this and then probably, just because it's right here, take this wheel and then maybe also take this wheel as well. I don't know. That would probably require an impossible escape on Glancing Blows here so that you can still snag these. But I'm going to try out different options. We'll see. For now, just sticking with Eldritch Battery. And the next thing I'm going to do, the next upgrade, another reason I don't think I'm going to go to that spell suppression wheel, is going to be Devouring Diadem, which gives you Eldritch Battery for free and 25% increased mana reservation efficiency on socketed gems. So with that, I should be able to squeeze in another aura, which will be a big upgrade. And of course, we'll get more Spectres with auras too later. It's going to be hard to get Spectre gem up to level 25, which is needed before you can get a 3rd Spectre. It's either that or you walk over to or anoint Death Attunement, which is probably not going to be worth that investment. Right now I'm anointing Grave Intentions, reason being that Wildwood, there's just a lot of chaos damage in Wildwood, and I lost my Thunderbird twice in a row. Even after getting Grave Intentions though, Thunderbird is the Grace Spectre. It just, for some reason, it's really squishy. This big turtle that gives you determination, he's really beefy. I haven't even seen him get close to dead, but and the meat sack too. I'm gonna replace the meat sack at some point, so maybe another update. We'll see how good things go. For now, we're comfortably dealing with T16s and got our 2 Void Stones, so Syrian Exarch and Eater of Worlds down. Where it's at right now, I feel like Shaper and even Uber Elder and Maven would be beatable. Chances are not deathless at this point. Still kind of squishy. If you're not careful, you can get yourself killed. I went ahead and squeezed in a nice beefy shield, giving up some potential offensive stats for this, but there's nowhere else to get that kind of defensive power. Of course, your block chance, but nice chunk of life and +2 max resists. Plus, I found this one with another +2 max lightning resist, which is pretty nice, especially those Eater maps. You get hit with those, what are those titty bitches that shoot the lightning? I played a Spectre build using them, and I don't remember what they're called anymore, but they can just shoot at you all day, and you got your 79% lightning resist, and it does almost nothing. It's awesome. Did have to drop the Occultist Explodey Charm, unfortunately. But in doing so, I think it's because, yeah, the you and nearby allies have... The Explode is... Oh, it's just expensive. That's the only reason. It's a prefix. So I could potentially squeeze it in still. But I had to spend my money wisely, and so we've got Onslaught, and then the Chaos Resist per Endurance Charge is nice, but that's not the ideal one we want. Charms just get expensive if they have 2 really good nodes. And so getting the you and nearby allies have extra resists. Let me drop the shield, because one of the main things I was getting out of the old shield was minion resists. We got the Bone Ring, and we've got these nodes here in order to, and of course they got the +8 max resists, and the Spectres are wearing elemental armies, so they also have really high... I need to get the quality on this up so that the Spectres are even tankier. Maybe Thunderbird can finally live if I get everything optimized. And so unfortunately, without the Occultist Explosions anymore, I do miss them, but I don't notice a big loss in clear speed. I went ahead and grabbed the minion AoE node and upgraded to an Awakened Melee Splash, and it's handling things well. I got the Elegant Hubris I wanted. That's Commemorate Caspiro. That lets you grab Supreme Ostentation. Let's ignore attribute requirements. Didn't care about the inherent bonuses from attributes anyway, although we are giving up some life and energy shield and mana, but it really isn't important. And get to that in a sec. Oh yeah, Paradoxica is going to require 212 dex, so to even try out Paradoxica, this is going to be critical. And the thing is that Devouring Diadem isn't the only unique upgrade that's down the road. A Darkness Enthroned is as well. And I'm getting a lot of stats out of this leather belt here. So there's going to be a lot of pressure. We're going to need much better boots and much better gloves and even a much better ring. Yeah, these are only 3 stat items here, along with craft. This one is even crafted life, but like I said, having a budget. Really good upgrade here was I replaced the Shitty Breath with one with the additional Curse Corrupt. Because Shitty Breath is so cheap and common, you can buy ones with nice corruptions. Like, I tried to look for one, didn't find one with plus all max and additional curse. Didn't find that. But the additional curse justified keeping the Profane Proxy. So we're keeping the Frostbite in there. Frostbite's a little more expensive to cast than Elemental Weakness, so we use Elemental Weakness. When you're doing double curses, you can either go with Arcanus Brand, which means another gem you have to use, and apply both the curses that way, or you can automate the second curse with Vixen's Entrapment, or Blasphemy, or Profane Proxy. And even though we don't need it for the Occultist Explode, you still want to be able to easily slap 2 curses on your boss target whenever you need to. And on top of that, I only want to cast one. I only want to press one button at a time. So I have a a friend that helps me cast Signal Prey. That's how I'm going to explain that. And wherever I cast the elemental weakness, if the cursor is over the good enemy, the enemy I want it to, that will hit it with Signal Prey, and all the swords will attack that, and everything in that AoE gets the elemental weakness anyway, and then the skitterbots should already be applying the frostbite. So that's how we get our double curses applied without extra pain, without having to press extra buttons, because I don't want to press more buttons than all this. And the socket pressure is pretty high at this point. Especially once we get Devouring Diadem, that means we'll be able to squeeze in another aura, and I'll have to move some stuff around and probably shave something, and may have to wait for Paradoxica so that I can, unfortunately, drop the Whirling Blades, which I'm really growing to love. And you need the Flame Dash still for certain situations, like terrain is a lot more annoying than you'd think if you haven't played with Whirling Blades before, but there's times where you're like, ooh, trying to Whirling Blades away, and you can't, just because like you're an inch away from a bump that is impossible to see. So you just kind of learn to Flame Dash instinctively when your Whirling Blades doesn't work. It sucks. Definitely died and almost died a bunch of times to that, but even worse is desync. Maybe the servers are having trouble today, or maybe it's my internet, but I lost a perfectly good ultimatum that I was probably going to make it to 10. I feel pretty sure I was going to make it to 10. I was on like 7 or 8, and fucking desync went back in time 3 seconds and I was dead. Wonderful. Shit happens though. That's why I don't play hardcore. So anyway, we've got our double curse now, which was a lot of damage. So if POB is accurate, we're at 3.1 million. And I don't know how accurate POB is, because again, it does not have Animate weapon. It doesn't have any transfigured gems. So here's the thing. This is a good news, bad news situation. Here's the bad news. Are you animating Lingering Blades? And we're set at only 6. Because remember, regular Animate weapon, maximum 16 animated weapons. In fact, is POB going to tell me? I thought it would. Oh well. But of course we only have a maximum of 6. Are you animating Lingering Blades instead of White Wind? This thing that we're building around? Oh, look at that. It's slightly more damage. That's what POB is currently reporting. I would say from experience, 3 or 4 million feels about like where we're at. So that could be correct, or close to correct, close enough to correct that this whole plan may have been kind of fruitless. But I don't care. I'm going to keep pushing the build and at least do all the pinnacle bosses and wait and see once POB has all the transfigured gems. See if we can find out for sure. But I still like the build, so we'll see where it goes. I think that's all the important upgrades. Once we get Devouring Diadem, we can drop this and move over here and use this cluster instead. And then I think the way I'm going to push the damage up further is to just get a better cluster with 10 or 12 nodes instead of just 8, and look for one with some attack speed for the minions. Won't be able to afford, a really nice 3% attack speed, 35% increased effect cluster with 12 nodes. Probably not going to be able to afford that. I probably still want the Feasting Fiends. So if I get one where I don't need the second notable and it'll be in the back, I'll still want to travel back to it anyway. It's going to be fine. And that's like, this character is probably only going to make it to level 95 anyway. So maybe only a couple more nodes to play with it also. I'm still enjoying the build, and I don't know how much better Guardian would have been. What could be the play, I haven't really tried to calculate the max potential, but if you went Guardian and you don't do City Breath, I think what you need is Ashes of the Stars. I'm not sure, like Replica Dragonflight wouldn't be good, but Ashes of the Stars would give you a 7th Animate weapon off the quality. It'd go up to potentially 50%, if you could find something to get at least another 10%, if you want to go nuts, you could get a Diala's and put this into one of the green sockets on a Diala's and crank up the quality to over 60%, so you can have 8 animate weapons, and then like a Rakiata's Dance maybe. This is all getting very expensive. That might be the top end. I don't know what those damage numbers are going to look like. I'll look at that later. And Rakiata's Dance might not even be the best potential weapon to use for that. But what I'll do is go ahead and clear a map, grab the Strand because it's nice and fast, and what you do for bosses, you just swap the splash with the multi-strike. I won't need to do that for this. And I'll turn on the Maven. I won't turn on the... Even though I've been doing the Temple, which is a nice clear speed check. If you can do Temple, then you have good enough clear speed. I feel like that's kind of the test that you want to pass with your build. And I've been able to farm up some decent temples and sell them, and that's where a lot of the money's come from. See the curse and the signal prey going out. Just keep moving and casting, and if you just keep pressing the button every little while, then you'll stay at 6. Even if a blade dies every once in a while, you might not even notice because you'll replace it before you realize it. Not going to do the ultimatum for the video, just want to keep it nice and quick. Gotcha. You could just whirling blades through all of this, actually, like you do for heists. That's what I keep forgetting to do. I keep forgetting to do heists. It's good money. And then I just do a couple and I don't want to do anymore. And then I'm like, oh, I'll do more later for sure. And then you end up with 100 heists in your locker, and then that's too much and you don't even want to try. Yeah. I don't know if I've done Dry Sea yet. That's one of the newer maps. I'll just refresh all 6. That's double bosses map. And there we go. So again, that was T16 without crazy mods, but you can see it works. It's fine right now. Yeah, it's possible that 6 Lingering Blade regular animate weapons are just as good. At least you don't have to cast Bladefall, right? I'm not coping. Alright, thanks for watching.